it takes a minute to get set up for a live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Keith. Let me know that the audio is 5x5 okay, and that the video looks okay. I actually had both these cameras out of the studio last week, and lots of things going on in my own kind of personal world with clients, and we're going to talk about that a little bit in the post show tonight. We have a special guest in the post show. That little guy is going to show up, and anyway, I hope you enjoyed the still images that have Ratso in it. So if you like Ratso, he will be here in the post show. Post show is about 5:20. It's a roll of the dice. We have to get done with tonight's live show. To get to the post show tonight, I am going to continue what I was talking about last week with all of those tools that I bought. I have kind of a history of using my iPhone as a camera, using it to live stream, using it on the fly, and obviously I have the new Pro iPhone 13, and it's got 3 cameras in the back, so it's pretty powerful. And now I'm using the app called Filmic Pro. And if you know anything about Filmic Pro, it has some really cool features. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the DJI mic that I have right here now. Also, the DJI OM5, I guess. They basically call it OM5. I guess that means Osmo Mobile. But we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about the LiteChaser kit by Polar Pro, which is something I didn't have in last week's live stream. So we're going to talk about that. So those are the things we're going to look at. They're all unboxed. I needed to play around with them. So let's just say hi here in the chat. Got to make a little change here. Let's get my camera out of the way. And make sure chat is live here. So let's see. We have Hank here from Stop and Think. Let me turn the chat on the air. It's good to have you. Joe is here from Controlling Technology and excited to see Ratso. Also, the note not to forget to record. I will hit record now. So thank you for reminding me. These chats really help. I did hit record. Thank you very much. Going to get down here. Lieutenant A.K. Allen, howdy. It's good to have you in the house tonight. As always, my buddy Freddie is in the house. Thank you, Freddie, for your continued support for other things that have been going on in my personal world. I just want to publicly thank you. That means so much to me. And we have, again, Stop and Think. Let's see. Is Washington State currently on daylight savings time, not specific standard time? That's a good question. We are on daylight savings time, so maybe I'm confusing people by always saying Pacific Standard Time. So who knows? I'm so confused. Looks good and thanks. Sounds good. Thank you, Joe, from Controlling Technologies. Joe made a comment earlier about how long it takes to produce a video. So maybe we should talk a little bit about that in the post show tonight. I hope you guys will come to the post show. Ratso will be here. We're going to talk about what I need to take on this trip, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the post show. Good to have Bill in the house from the great state of Chicago. And Freddie also says audio and video is okay. And I appreciate you and your support. And I see Tony's in the house. He says, hi, Keith, hi, Joe, hi, Freddie, and everybody else in the chat. So, yeah, I got the haircut. Thank you very much. That was yesterday. So I don't have the bozo hair coming out the side, and it's nice to be a little bit more clean cut tonight. I will try to behave myself. So, and Tony says, looks good, sounds good. So, let's just look at some of these things. So first of all, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for being in the live show, for supporting the channel. If you have not subscribed, you can chat tonight. If you subscribe, it takes about 5 minutes. So if you are listening, we had about 8 views, 12 people have viewed it. So you might be out there listening and wondering why you can't chat and say hi, you do need to subscribe. Obviously, that stops some of the spam that happens during the live stream. So I've set subscribe only. And again, if you subscribe, you can chat in 5 minutes. So thank you so much tonight for joining the chat. So also, I wanted to say, check out the other channels here in the live stream. So lots of you who have joined me tonight in the chat have channels. And I have been checking out some of your videos. I do have an interesting following of very smart IT professionals. And a lot of the stuff that you guys cover is over my head. But I do enjoy watching what you guys are doing. And I will do my best to support you. And I thank you for supporting me. Obviously, the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, the super chats, all of those things help the channel grow. And I was looking at the stats tonight. I wanted to share this with you all. Let's see if I can find it again here from my good friends at Google. Let's see if it's here. I thought it was right here. Let's just look again. Maybe it was spammed. But I had about, I think it said 68 subscribers this month, which is really good for my channel. So those of you that subscribed, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Those of you that have been subscribed for a long time, thank you. Obviously, I haven't uploaded a lot of videos. I've been waiting for all this stuff to get here. So I did not unbox it live because I needed to use it and try to figure some things out. I didn't want to look like a complete total fool here in the live stream tonight because I do have the DJI mic right here, the kit, and we're going to look at this in just a second with a downward camera. Comes with a bag of stuff as well. And then I have my case with the new Osmo 5, as well as this is my new case for my iPhone. This is the LiteChaser case. It has the ability to add in some of these filters. So I have a circular polarizer filter. I have 2 ND filters. We're going to talk about those. And it also has this real cool handle and the ability to add a Bluetooth device to it. So it actually has a Bluetooth shutter right there. And we're going to look at these on the table here up close. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys a shout out for that. And then I bought a little bracket so that I could hook this on the bottom of the DJI Osmo. So it has a cold shoe. So not that I need this cold shoe because I do have a cold shoe that's available on top of this handle, which hooks on the back of my phone. And we're going to look at all that stuff tonight. So I hope you guys will enjoy this. And we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the Filmic Pro app because it has this new feature. It's an add-on. You have to pay for it. I think it's like $20. But you have the ability to do lots of cool stuff with Filmic Pro, shooting video, as well as shooting log. And obviously, I think most of you understand that most cameras have a codec built into them and a color science. And basically, it does its best job to look at the exposure, and then it throws away all the unnecessary information, keeps the files small, and then you bring it into your video editor and you use it. But when you get into that kind of professional level, you really want more information. You don't really want to throw out all that color information. Like if you want to bring up things in the shadows, if you want to change the colors and not have your video begin to fall apart, you really need the ability to shoot log. And with, I believe, the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13, the chip is big enough for it to be able to shoot log. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm building a kit so that I can be mobile with my phone. Now, I shoot a lot of B-roll, but I love to jump in a car and be able to shoot a video. And so obviously there's challenges. A lot of the work I'm doing is the middle of the day. And by the time I get to a location and we're shooting, the sun's out, especially in June, July, and August. It's going to be probably bright and more cheery than it has been. So we're going to be able to shoot more often with some incredible light. And that means that if I want to get that real good quality video and keep my shutter speed double whatever I'm filming at. So if I'm filming at 24p, if I'm filming at 29.5 frames per second, then I'm going to want to double that shutter speed. And in order to do that on manual mode, a lot of times I have too much light. In fact, my downward camera, because my ATEMs flicker, I have the shutter speed set at 100 instead of 60, because I'm shooting at 29.57, I think is what the real number is. And so you're supposed to double it, which would be around 60, and I'm going to 100 to get rid of that flicker on the table. So if I go to my downward camera here, you can see that it is kind of flickering. Let's see, make sure I have my key off the air. Let's try that again. And now let me switch to camera 3. And so now it's not in a key. And so you can see I have the DJI mic kit here. This is not flickering, so I am shooting at 100 frames per second. And we're going to look at that in SuperSource here in a second. So let me bring up SuperSource here, see what I have. And for some reason, I don't have the second box open here. So let me open it. Box 2, where are you? Enable. Box 2 needs to be my ATEM overhead camera. So let's switch now. Sorry about that. So here's my downward camera. It's not the best layout. I can fix this a little bit and just size it and make this a little bit better here. And I'm doing all that by going into the control software, and I'm just mousing around, not using Mix Effects right now to control SuperSource. I just did it right in the software, and I'm not fully cropped here as well. But so I do not have the list. Well, Freddie, I can't put this up on the screen because I'm using my ATEM Mini Pro for the downward camera. But Freddie said, it sounds better. Are you using the Rodecaster Pro version 2? And no, the Rodecaster Pro, I think, is releasing around the 17th to the 21st of this month, and I'm on a waiting list, so probably won't see anything with the Rodecaster Pro until August. Maybe July we'll see, but no, Freddie, I'm not. Good to see you, David. Again, I'm in SuperSource right now, and I can't put the chat on the screen, but I want to greet you. Thank you for joining us all the way from Australia. So, okay, so I'm going to use this as an overhead mic here for a second and come in here and open this up. And so this is the new DJI mic, and let's see, can I move this way a little bit? Yeah, let's move this way just a touch. And it's semi-focused. Hopefully you can see this, but this case it's charging right here. If I open this up, you can see I've got all the bars, and so everything fits in the case. You can pull the receiver out, and it tells you what the volume is on the microphones. Let me jump up here to the big camera here. So camera 3, I'll try to focus this a little bit here. Come on. That's about as good as I can get. So you can see that it's giving you signals. There we go. And so I have the mic 1 at -5, and I have it at -10 on mic number 2. And you can just swipe in here and change the settings. Go mono, use the volume on the headphones. This is the gain right here. Little persnickety. Is that gonna focus? This camera has got to go. So anyway, so that's the gain settings. And I tap on it. I can go up and down with the gain. So that would be at 0. So I can go minus and plus. on the mic gains, and then I can go through the transmitter settings and also go into gain in the transmitter. And so again, I can change it as well. So on number 2, I can go into a record mode. So I don't know what's going to happen, guys, with this crazy camera. Let me go into manual. Much better. So again, it's tiny. You can see here's like not very big at all. It doesn't even, it fits between my pointer finger and my knuckle. So it's pretty tiny. And so really cool features. I'm not going to go into all of them tonight, but we are going to do a sound test. So I'm going to go back in here, double check the transmitter gain. I'm going to use mic number 2, and let's readjust this for the desk here. We're going to plug it in. Let me reset these real quick. Reconnect. And we'll get this fired up here. Okay, let's try this again. Connect. Put my headphones on, make sure I don't kill us. Testing the mic. Testing. It's pretty hot looking at the levels here. But this is the Rode wireless microphone. One of them. Let me put this one back. And I'll bring out this one. It's not as loud. And I set them at 2 different settings. And I know you can hear some room noise because it's not going through the RODECaster Pro, and I do not have a limiter on. But I can hit the little record button right now. You see if you guys can see this. You can hit record. It buzzes because I have the buzzer set on, and now it is recording. And so what I can do is I can take these files and let's turn my mic back on. Turn this microphone back on. It's a million times better. So I didn't do this ahead of time and set volumes and all that, but I'm still recording, and this microphone is picking me up. And so it's going to record until I hit record again. And then if I put it back in here, close it, it turns off recording. I do have the settings set to default it to continue recording if I actually hit the button by accident. So probably not the greatest sound sample because the gains are pretty hot. I can't mess with it right now and grab the receiver. It's going to give me an error and saying, yeah, confirm I want to unplug it. And I can go through here and turn the transmitter setting gain down. And they seem to be really, really hot. So I had mic 2 at -10 on the transmitter, and I had mic 1 at normal. Now it's at -8. So I can shut that, and that's transmitter gains. I also have a brightness setting. So I'm really impressed with this. And also in the case, bring this case back over. You have the ability to pull out, actually, let's just pull these out. I have the lightning adapter right here. So I can pull the lightning adapter out of the case and actually leave it on, and I can slide it on. It has an arrow for directions right here. So it slides through like this. And then this could plug directly into my phone. Let's turn this over. And now basically I have a wireless 2-microphone adapter for my phone for shooting. So I literally could use this and have this hooked up and record directly to the phone. You also have one for Android, USB-C right here. And that fits in the case. And then you have this clip right here for hooking this onto a regular adapter like this. So cold shoe. And I'm sorry it's dark over on this table. So again, that can pop back, that can stay in there. This can pop right back out. So again, on the side, you have a monitor out for headphones and an output to go directly into a camera, go directly into the A10 Mini Pro channel 2, or you can go directly into channel 1. You need to go into the settings and change that to line level if you're going to be coming from a board, and to mic level if you're coming from a regular microphone like this. So this will actually fit back in there with that still attached and closed. And so I love the fact that it'll charge while I'm using it inside of that case. And so the goal here is to use my phone and be mobile and get some really good audio, and I still need to adjust the levels. And then this is the new LiteChaser case, so you can see that it has the ability to add filters. So I'm going to set this right here. Get this focused really well. And then we'll bring out one of these filters. This filter right here is the circular polarizing filter. And so can pop this out. Actually, this is in backwards. It's meant to go like this. So this way, when I pull it out, the cover is out, so I don't get fingerprints on that side of it. So let's just switch back to this camera. So now I can take this phone, and then this just notches on. I can see with the lights glaring in my eyes. There we go. So I got it on. So it goes on and then slides down, and then you pull the cover off very carefully. And there you have a circular polarizing filter, which cuts out the glare. And then I also have an ND 6 to 7 variable, so 2-stop, and a 3 to 5. So that's all they offered. So hopefully those will be the right ones. And then I have the circular polarizing filter, which is great when I'm shooting through windows. I even used this today to shoot Ratso in the photograph that you guys saw. So that was shot with my iPhone, and I used the circular polarizing filter to cut some of the glare off of the glass, and that's how I got Ratso. And then there's also this handle that's available, and so I'm going to pop that on. So it's got a little button right here that you can push, and it spreads it out. So we'll put this on the far end. There you go. So now I have a little camera with a handle on it. And then if you pop off this little plastic piece right here, you can put on this Bluetooth shutter button. So if I turn it on right here, flip this little switch, it's going to flash. I go into my camera to Bluetooth settings, open up Bluetooth settings. I am looking for the little LCP-BT-shutter, and it is connected. And so then I'll close that. I will go into Filmic Pro now, opening Filmic Pro. There we go. And if I hit that button, it will take photographs and it will start shooting. So you can see right there, I am recording. And if I hit it again, it turns off recording. And then what I love about Filmic Pro, let's get it over here, is that if you order that kit, that add-on, I can change the log, and they're right here. And so I actually can shoot in log, and I'm in log version 3 right now. So everything I shoot right now is shooting in log. And so 3 seconds of just shooting log, which should give me all of the depth. And again, I'm shooting with a circular polarizing filter. It stops a lot of the glare on my desk. And so now I have this as a camera. I can hold it in my hand like this, and I really, really like how it feels in my hand. So let's take a break real quick and look at the chat and just see what you guys are up to here. Cut back to that. Put the chat on the air. Find my pen. And let's see. Can you use the new MagSafe with the iPhone case? That's a great question. I do not see a MagSafe slot. So, and I haven't really paid that much attention to that, so I apologize. And yeah, my top-down camera is getting replaced, and I apologize, Joe. That's why I'm switching to this camera. It's just for some reason that Canon EOS, that Canon 5D Mark III is going, that's a great lens. It's an L lens, the 16-35, and it looks great on all my other cameras. But for some reason, the sensor on that, something's been off, and I've got to figure it out. Good morning to you, David. Thanks for joining us today. Freddie asked this earlier about the Rodecaster Pro version 2, and I do not have my new Rodecaster Pro. I would expect that in a few weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. It's supposed to be released later this month. So hopefully the dev store where I ordered it here in Washington will get those to me pretty quickly. So then you can put these covers back on to protect this lens. I'm going to pull it off. And so I've been using a different case. We'll put this back in the way you're supposed to, like that. And then you can close it. And again, I could do the same thing with the circular polarizer filter. I can also do the same thing with the ND filters. I can grab one of the ND filters. Open it up. Again, it's designed to be in that way so that I can just pull it out and not get fingerprints on the glass side of it. And that could be slid on as well. Little tricky getting them on because there's just a slot. And you can put filters. If you look at that, you can put filters on individual cameras. They have an anamorphic I would have bought, but they're completely out of stock. And I went directly to Polar Pro's site to buy this LiteChaser kit for the iPhone 13. Mine's a Pro, not a Pro Max. I don't like the giant cameras. So now I have an ND filter on my camera, so I could peel that off and use an ND filter. So when I'm shooting outside or I'm shooting a drive-up video, which is what I'm going to be doing this week, we'll talk more about in the post-show. I have a number of videos to shoot. I like to grab the B-roll with my camera, and I also can stabilize my camera for B-roll as well. And if I really want to get some really blurred background shots, then I can pull out my Canon EOS R or my Canon 5D Mark IV. I travel with those as well, but it's just nice to have something that's in my hand all the time. I can have these filters either in the front of my car in the little dash slot, or I can have one of these in my pocket. And pretty well cloud cover, I would use the 3 to 5, and if it was a bright day with no cloud cover, I would be getting out to 6 to 7. And hopefully I'll be able to stop the camera down to where it really needs to be so I get the right looking B-roll. And some of this stuff I'm going to be shooting is in 4K. So I'm going to be providing some 4K material for a client. I'll be doing that with my cameras as well as my iPhone. And it's pretty cool with what you're capable of doing with the Filmic Pro app. And I did want to show you guys this tonight. So let me cut back to super source here. Get back to multi-view. My Canon timed out, the camera that none of us seem to like tonight. So let's go into super source here and change what's in here to my desktop. Got a little cold tonight, I apologize. Okay, let's do this. So on the screen now, I'm in Premiere Pro. On the left is the log footage that I shot this week. On the right, I have the LUTs in there. And I believe, let me cut back to this camera angle. Back again. So this is the page. I include this in the links below. But you have this free LUT pack right here, and I've downloaded that. And so we're going to use that to color this. And so in Premiere Pro, when you're in the Lumicolor, which is wrong view here. When you're in the Lumicolor, which is right over here, the way I have my Premiere Pro set up, I can go in here and click on the footage. So the top footage, my computer just locked up, sorry. There we go. So the top footage is uncolored log. And the bottom footage on the right, sorry, this footage right here is colored. And so what I did is I added this LUT, and I can just go to browse, go into the folder, and here's the folder with the log LUTs. And you have flat, you have this regular V log, you have this version, and then you have vibrant, neutral, muted, and neutral right here. But it's kind of a flat neutral. And so we can drag these in as well, and they'll be applied, and that's what you can see right here on the right hand side. And I'll just scroll through this footage, and then from here you would color it. But you can see how shooting log, guys, saves all of this gray in here. All of the shadows are preserved as I go up and down this stump. And then when you color it, you can get rid of that and add the contrast, and I can then change all of that as well. And so I can close that one and bring this one 125%, move it over just a little bit. So I can play with these shadows, bring them up, and it's all the information's there in my, because I'm shooting in log, it's not breaking up the video. The video is really crisp, and I know this is not a big, gigantic version of that video, but all those shadows are there. I could drop the blacks if I want to. I can bring up the saturation if I wanted to. And I could just play with the basic settings, or I could go in and actually change the colors using all these other options. I have curves right here, and I can choose the curves. I can use the color wheels right here, and so I can change the midtones, shadows, and highlights. Got the metadata here. So all of this is available in here under the Lumetri color settings, and you can color this video any way you want. So the ability to use Filmic Pro to shoot log, to have the ability to add these filters and have a button, have the ability to take the DJI, if I wanted to shoot audio with my camera, I can take the DJI MIC receiver and put it right here in this cold shoe and be able to record directly to the mics and plug it right into my camera. And again, in the bag, it comes with the adapters as well as inside here. Here's the charger port, USB to USB-C. I have another one in there. I have two of them, so I could charge them individually. Then I've got the dead cats, and those pop right on. Grab out one of the receivers, and you just line it up right here. And twist it. And now I have the dead cat on there, which is going to stop wind outside. So tiny mic. And the other thing I like about these mics is there's a magnet on the back. So it comes with the magnet at the top, and it's a very strong magnet. I'm grabbing it. So I could just take this, and I can pin it on like that. So there it is. And obviously you could also reverse it and hide it underneath and just have the magnet outside, which is pretty cool. So we'll do this reversed. So now I've got that mic hidden underneath there. I'd have it higher, but there you go. I have a wireless microphone with just a magnet on there. And then if you had a pocket shirt, you could just hide the magnet inside the pocket. So I really, really like this. I think this kit is really going to help me out. And then I can use my other microphones if I want to plug in a microphone, because if you take the dead cat back off, you do have a place to plug in a regular microphone right there. Again, you can also clip it. It has a built-in clip, and you can add the clip to the receiver as well. You take the magnet, you pop it right back at the top. That way it'll still fit right back down in the case. Pull the case out, drop this in there, close it, and it's charging away. So I love the fact that you can charge that a number of times from the case. So the case has a battery in it. They each have a battery inside them. And you can see now that I have Filmic Pro, I've added the plug-in feature to be able to shoot log. It's pretty exciting what I'm going to be able to do with that. So let's pull this filter off, put it back in the case. We're going to pull the handle off. Again, you got the shutter button right there. All I have to do is just push this button, and it spreads it, and I can pop it right off. And there's notches in the case, so I can slide it in any one of these notches on the bottom and on the top. Hopefully you can see those notches along there. And I did have to turn off the double press emergency alarm. So now I have to press it 5 times. So that's in the settings. But I love what I'm going to be able to do with Filmic Pro. And I love what I'm going to be able to do with this little puppy. So this is the new Osmo. And so you just rotate this around, flip this up. And now you have ability to hook up the bracket. So I'm going to put this on this little stand. Set it on my desk. And there's actually the ability to use the Osmo with Filmic Pro. And this is the normal spring-loaded adapter that goes to the iPhone, and it just magnets on, and it even has a notch here to let you know which direction you're supposed to go. I also bought this one, and it has a built-in light. So turn this on, and then I can cycle through brightness, color temperatures. So that's to shoot in compartments and things like that with the Osmo, DJI Osmo 5. And it's chargeable USB-C. It's got a built-in battery. So turn that off. Hook my phone on here. You got to try to get it as balanced as possible. And there's a little deal right here that tells you which direction to put it. So this is still, this side is pointing towards my cameras. I'm going to pop this on. Line this up. Snaps in place pretty abruptly. Fire this puppy up. And it does start in portrait mode. I could take this handle off if I wanted to. Push that twice, it turns around. And I have lots of control with this. The button on the front, I can just hold it down, and I love this. You got the thumb button on there, so I could pan up, go right, left. I can change the speed. And then when I'm in Filmic Pro, I can actually use the zoom button to change different settings in Filmic Pro. So I can go to different shooting modes with Filmic Pro, or just use the DJI Mimo app and be able to shoot with it and use it as a zoom in and zoom out feature. So you have a record button, you have an on and off button on the side. This is a new button right here for up and down. I'm still learning this device, still playing with it, but I love the fact that you can use it with Filmic Pro. So what you do is you go into Filmic Pro. Inside the settings, you're going to choose, where is it at? Hardware. Under hardware, you're going to turn on DJI Osmo Mobile. Let's see if I can flip this around so you guys can see it. So there are the settings. And oops. So I chose the Osmo. And so now it's on. So now I can use the Filmic Pro app with log with this stabilizer. So B-roll, this is great. I'm going to get good smooth footage. And it's a 3-axis gimbal. Obviously 4-axis would stop this. So you need to kind of walk softly and carry a big stick, not stink. So anyway, I can go in and turn log off. So go into the log settings. Turn it back to natural. And so now I have just natural. So because the chip size and the processor in the iPhone 13 is so powerful, it gave Filmic Pro an opportunity to tap into that sensor and get more information and give us more ability to shoot. So this is going to be another good tool for me. So on some of my drive-up videos, I want things smooth, but a lot of the videos I shoot when I'm going into a building, I like it to be handheld. I want a little bit of that shake and that drama, and I can turn stabilization on in the phone or off. It just depends on the look I'm getting. But then if I'm showing a device or something like this, then I have the ability to get in close and have some control. And then, like I said, I have this adapter that I could add inside here and be able to put my DJI mic right here and be able to use this it with me and have a lapel on and record to the lapel microphone, or I could record into my phone. I probably will not record into my phone, but it is nice to see the levels of the microphones right on that device. And so it does show you the levels while you're recording to the actual microphone. So having it when you're shooting, knowing that you have proper mic levels for both you and the other person is a really good thing. And that's why I would have this attached to that device right here on the phone. You can see how tiny it is compared to my phone. This thing is, receiver for DJI is so tiny. It is amazing. And then this is the clip that goes on, and then it has a little shoe adapter. So that's also in the case. So have a mobile gimbal for my iPhone Pro. Have filters for the LiteChaser case by Polar Pro. I have the DJI microphone so that I can get some good audio recording with a guest or just myself on the fly. Everything fits into a backpack. It is so tiny. I have a light that I can get better look if I need it inside a case, and I can change the color temperature and the brightness of this little light. And with one push of the button, it's off, and with one push of the button, it's back on. And then the side button, I can change the different color temperatures and turn it off and get it ready for the next shoot. So I love it. I love this. I love the gimbal. I love what I'm going to be able to do with it. And we're going to talk more about that and what I'm doing with it and what I'm going to take with me in the post show. So again, I can actually push this button down right now, and it shifts me through different filming modes inside Filmic Pro. And I love that ability to just change it. And also it opens up the shutter settings and the focus pulling settings just with a push of this button. And that's really helpful if you're trying to do a focus pull or something like that with Filmic Pro. And yes, you can actually do a focus pull in Filmic Pro, which is really cool. So check out Filmic Pro and check out the packages that you can get to be able to shoot log and be able to change the white balance and the color temperature, and also the ability to adjust the different colors. So if you just want a different look, you can adjust the reds, the saturations, the vibrance right inside the Filmic Pro app. And I think that that's really, really cool. So I'm going to push this button, turn the gimbal off, pull my phone off of here, the magnet, and I am going to tether and open up Filmic Pro. So let's go in here and tether my phone. See if my phone is tethering. What did I tether the wrong TV here? Yes. Tethering to my other Apple TV in the other room. Okay. Let's go into the settings here. Okay, restart this app. Wow, it just took over the screen. I don't know how that happened. Wow. That's a new one. Let's do this. Restart this app. Sorry, guys. I want to turn clean HDMI off so I can show you guys. There we go. Okay, back to this. So you can see the settings in here. So what's really cool is that you have this ability to go into the log settings, and I can choose between natural, linear, HLG, or 10-bit V-log. And then again, I can actually change the white balance. I can also go in here and change the different color settings. And then obviously I could add this plug-in as well if I wanted to, but I have that control because I added those features. And so one of the shooting modes lets me go in here and change shutter speed and ISO, and then pop that back out, come out this side, and I can pull focus. So I literally could pull focus in and out just with a touch of my finger. So I love this app. I love that I can shoot log. I don't have to shoot log if I don't want to, but I love the control that I get and what's capable with the new iPhone 13, the Pro and the Pro Max, and what you're going to be able to accomplish with that shooting. So obviously with all those features, you still need to be able to control the light. You still need to control the video. You need to control the shaky footage. You need to actually be able to get good audio. All of that applies, and that's what I'm working to do, all with an iPhone, so I could be super, super mobile. So if I had to jump on an airplane or something like that, and I want some ability to do some pretty quality things, even out the window of an airplane, I will be able to pop on filters and just have all that stuff in a travel bag. And if I want to take my gimbal, it fits all real nicely in that little case. So the fact that this unscrews, pop it in the case, my light, this adapter right here, fold the gimbal back like that, rotate it around. It all fits in this little case. Zip it up. And there you go. Everything's right in there, ready for me to go. All I need is a battery to charge it up, and have this and the bag, because I will need the windscreens. They don't fit in here, either to the charging cables. So all of that would go in this DJI bag. So you drop this in there. That would go in my backpack as well, with all of this stuff inside there, and making it super mobile. And a lot of this stuff can fit in my dash. I could even drop in my filters in this bag and have all of those in here as well. And if I wanted to, I could throw this little Pro handle in here as well, and or have a bigger bag and travel like that. So my phone's with me all the time anyway. So that is my new mobile kit. I hope you guys enjoyed a look at that. So now let's look at the chat. Go back on the air here with the chat. We don't want that off the air. Back on here. Okay. I know I've been talking for a while. Joe says, do you use the new ProRes 422 compatibility in the iPhone? Yeah, again, I think that's in the Filmic Pro settings in the log. It's shooting 422 10-bit. So I'm still learning. So I know that that's available inside the iPhone, and I'm doing research. So I'm still a rookie with using the Pro 13. I haven't had it that long. And most of the time I'm using Filmic Pro is to show you guys things in my studio. Now I'm out shooting with it. So I did my first shoot this week. I have another shoot tomorrow that I'm doing just to practice. And then I go on this trip that we'll be talking about in the post show, where I'm going to be shooting a number of videos, and I'm going to take my cameras as a backup just to be safe. When the mic's pinned on, it looks like a nice brooch, okay? I agree with that, Tony. The mic feature on the DJI mic is pretty cool. I find the magnet phone clip works extremely well on the Osmo 4. I imagine it will work just as well on the Osmo 5. Yeah, the magnet is pretty powerful. I agree with that, Tony. And there is an auto calibration feature on all the DJI gimbals. And I have my Ronin S as well that's designed for my other cameras. And I've played with the new Ronin S2 because that's what Matt Elliott had at the church. And so I've looked at that. But I don't do a lot of gimbal work because I've been doing a lot of the gimbal work, B-roll with my phone for years. And I already had the original Osmo Mobile, but I have not bought a single one since then. And with the new cameras and all the lenses, you do need to get one of the new modern Osmos in order for it to work with those cameras. I do like that it has the portrait mode now. That's really cool for taking snapshots, hero shots, and things like that. But I do most of my work from my phone, landscape. That's just because I do so much video work. I'm not sure I'm going to make a feature film, Joe, but I am going to be doing some short videos for social media for my clients. And it would be cool to shoot some kind of video or feature, and maybe I'll do that for my channel, all from the iPhone as I get better and better acquainted with it. I'm always concerned that the iPhone is limited to the light. So you can shoot with it as a camera, but you're still going to have to bring in lighting to get the kind of look that you need to have, unless you shoot everything outside and you pull off things by using shadows or a big truck in the way to provide some shade. Who knows? But good point. You can use the Osmo and the Polar Pro lenses. It's a little hard to balance. So what I did is I took one of these out. Plugged it into the bottom of my phone, the little Rode adapter, and it added just enough counterbalance. And I haven't looked into all the counterbalance stuff that's available, but obviously I will be looking into that. I'm expanding my kit, but all of this stuff I purchased, including a couple ND filters, 100 by 100 mil ND filters that I had broken. I needed one that was 3 stops and needed to replace a broken one, a 6-stop. Those are the ND filters that I can use on my bigger cameras. I literally have an 82 millimeter circular polarizer filter that goes with a Lee filter kit that I have. And I can use those for shooting outside with my bigger cameras, but I do want to be able to shoot mobily from my iPhone, and that's why I'm investing in this gear. And so I'll know more about that question, Freddie, when I get back from the shoot, because I will be trying to use those filters on the gimbal. Okay. And yes, I have the Bible app on my phone. So that's how I roll. So if I ever need some insight or encouragement, a good place to go is Proverbs. They say Proverbs were written to young men. And if you read Proverbs, that wisdom was what most of us wish we had applied in our lives when we were young. So, yep. I'm not sure that God has an app, but there is an app with different versions of the Bible for your phone. Gimbal cases like a lunchbox, peanut butter and jelly, banana and crackers. Okay. That's hilarious. Freddie, you're welcome for the answer. And good to have you, DJ Ware. Sorry you missed the first part of this, but we've been breaking down my mobile kit so you can play it back. The DJI mic right here kit that I finally got, and also the Osmo Mobile 5, and then these Polar Pro devices to turn my phone into a little shooting device, a little video camera, complete with a shutter button that's Bluetooth, and that's pretty exciting. So got my Wacom tablet here, and I've got my Polar Pro LiteChaser when I go on the road, and that's exciting. So any questions about those devices that we have not talked about already? We got a few minutes before we go and do our post show. I hear that Ratso's showing up. I'll have to go grab him, see what he's doing, and that'll be in the post show. But again, I like these products. I invested in them. They're not inexpensive. It was $3 something with tax for the DJI device. I actually had some, thank you for using the associate links here on my Amazon links down in the descriptions, because I got about within like $20 of being able to purchase the Osmo 5. So that was really cool. And then obviously I bought a couple $120 to $150 100 mil by 100 mil ND filters, a 3 and a 6 stop. And then some of the other things that you see here, the LiteChaser stuff was not inexpensive. The filters are not inexpensive, but it really does turn my phone into a device. I think this is about $50 for the iPhone 13 Pro, not the Max. It's a little bit more for the Max version. And then I think it was like $29 for the Bluetooth shutter button. And I think these were between, I think because I bought the kit, I got the circular polarizing filter free. So if you go to Polar Pro site, you can build a kit and you pay for the circular polarizing filter. But if you purchase one of their kits, you get the circular polarizing filter for free. And this is the ND filter, but the circular polarizing filter helps cut out some of the glares. Really good with water, really good with shooting through windows, depending on what you're doing. So any questions at all about those 3 devices? Well, thank you, Joe. I'll have to check out your last stream because it sounds like you gave me a shout out. So I will check that out. Sorry, I was not there. Again, I came down with something, so my throat has been really bothering me, been really, really tired, and started feeling a little better yesterday afternoon, feel even better today. Thursday, I'm back out on the road, so I need to have this thing beat by then. Was a little concerned I'd be able to even do Ratso's voice, but the more I talk, the harder it will be for me to do that little intro with him, but we will still roll with that. And I wrote a little script, even used my teleprompter to practice, but I'm not using my teleprompter live. Obviously that's meant for Joe from, I think, yeah, so lots of technologies out there. Some of those other channels, guys that are here tonight with me, have some great material on their channel, so please check it out. I will be doing a video on all 3 of these devices. So I'm going to do one on the Osmo 5. I'm going to do one on the LiteChaser kit for my phone. I'm going to do one on the DJI mic. Also, last week I put Aaron Parecki's link to his DJI mic video. I thought it was very well done, and I've watched a number of those to get acquainted with this device. But again, and I even asked Aaron in his live stream what his favorite tech was for 2022, and he said he thinks it was the DJI mic. So he already had influenced me when I asked him that question through social media privately, but then he said it again publicly when I asked him in his live stream on Sunday if he what he thought was the best new gear. And he's had some pretty incredible new pieces of gear on his channel. So check out Aaron Precky's channel if you have time to do that. And I can't wait to get those videos done. I will be working on those the next days off. So I am on the road now for the next 90 days. There's like 75 days left for 3 days a week. This week I'll be going to 4 different dealership locations and doing filming at all 4. And so I'm going to be very busy this week, back on Saturday night, then rest on Sunday as much as I can, and then back in the studio working to shoot those videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And obviously I have live streams on Tuesday. I am moving the post show to every other week. So we are having a post show tonight, and it's time for us to make that transition. So hopefully you will stay with me for the post show. I'm just going to save this log footage that I was working on in Adobe Premiere and close that down. And we're going to get ready to do the outro. Any last words of wisdom or any last comments on those devices? Any thoughts? It sounds like some of you have Osmo devices. Do any of you guys use the LiteChaser cases and Polar Pro stuff? Maybe you use Polar Pro's Peter McKinnon ND variable filters, but let me know in the chat if you do. And if you are getting one of these, let me know. I'd love to watch your video as well if you do a video on the DJI microphone. So, okay, well, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Get Ratso ready and me ready for the post show. We're going to talk about this trip I have coming up, talk about what I'm going to be taking, part of my kit, as well as some of the new mobile devices that I have added. And so I hope that you guys will join me for that post show. A lot more Q&A, talking about mobile gear and traveling in my SUV and how I have things stocked up. So hopefully you guys will change or stay there here for that. Joe says he's heard of Polar Pro, but he's not using it, but it is interesting. So, okay, well, I'm going to turn the chat off the air and bid you guys good night for the live show. Again, we'll be back here in about 5-6 minutes for the post show. So get yourself a glass of water, get yourself some snacks. I hope you'll come back and be a part of that discussion. It's not going to be a long post show tonight, planning on about 30-40 minutes. So I do hope you guys will join me for that. And don't miss the beginning of that show, because Ratso is going to be with me and we're going to be talking about this trip coming up. So, okay. So thank you, Freddie. Put this back up. Love the Polar Pro kit. Have a great night. You too, my friends. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Please like the video and share some of the other content. And I thank you guys so much for helping me build this channel. It means so much to me. And if you're listening tonight, either recorded or live, and you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing and joining me here on the channel. We talk about live streaming tech. We talk about other equipment. And now that I'm getting more and more in mobile video production, we'll be talking more about that as well. And I've done a couple installs for live streaming at local venues, and I still have to share that in one of the post shows coming up. So stay tuned for that. I do have some footage, and I worked with some interesting cameras. So we'll talk about that as well. So that's it. I'm going to roll the outro. I'm Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I hope I'll see you in the next video, which is right after this.